Our new segment, Victims of Crime, highlights everyday Americans dealing with the nationwide rise in crime. Today, we're taking you to Minneapolis, Minnesota. My next guest is a diner owner who completely changed the way he does business due to an increase of crime in that area. Joining me now, the Nicollet Diner co-owner, Sam Turner. Sam, it's great to be with you this morning. I wish we were talking about something happier, about the revival of your business coming out of COVID or whatever the case may be. But so many business owners that we talk to, like yourself, say we've been through the ringer, and on top of it now we're dealing with crime that makes it even harder for us to operate. Tell us a little bit more about how you've been dealing with it, some of the changes you've made to survive.
Yeah, just in the last month here, we moved from one location to another, and just what's going on around us really impacted the way that we changed operations going into our new location. Being mindful of public safety and crime in general in our area.
Sam, what do you hear from your customers? What do people coming into the restaurant tell you? I can tell you here in New York City, we've been talking about the crime all morning, but we talk about it day after day. Even just roaming the streets, walking around, trying to do things, going into restaurants. It's scary for a lot of people. And a lot of people say, I'm more apt to stay home. I'm not coming out. I'm not spending money. I don't need to deal with the hassle.
Yeah, I definitely agree. There seems to be a general feeling that with fewer people in downtown, it feels less safe. We hear a lot of that when there's more people feel more safe. I think that activated spaces are safe spaces. So the more people you have in an area, you tend to feel a lot safer. So just the general lack of people in downtown, I think, has a big impact on people's feeling of safety.
How is the city addressing it? How are they handling this? Are they helping you in any way, or in some ways do you feel that you're on your own?
We do. I guess a lot of times we do feel like we're on our own. We had to increase our security patrols. The police department is helpful when things crop up in the neighborhood or there's hot spots in the neighborhood. They're so understaffed, it's difficult for them to respond with any kind of force.
And that's definitely an issue that we've been talking about as we head into the midterms, right? Defunding the police, creating a situation where people don't want to join the force anymore. The police aren't empowered to protect people or businesses in the same way. And so we're sort of at a turning point where something really drastically has to change. Is that the sentiment that you're hearing on the ground?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we need judges and prosecutors that are going to hold people accountable and keep criminals off the streets. A lot of it's going to depend on this November's election and who our prosecutors are, really.
Yeah.
And who's running those, who's making those decisions, who gets charged, who gets held. It seems to be a revolving door down at the county jail sometimes. And a lot of those that are committing crimes are those that realistically should be in jail for committing other crimes, but they're let out and then they recommit.
Yeah, the repeat offenders. We have them here in New York City, too, and it just kills me every time I hear about it. James.
Yeah, so, Sam, it sounds like police are doing what you would hope, but it's what happens after an arrest is made that the problem crops up.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest concern and the way that we can make the most progress. We used to have a program called the Downtown 100 that watched closely the 100 most common offenders. And that program, we haven't had that program in the last couple of years, and you can really tell a difference. There's not the oversight of the most common offenders anymore that we used to have.
Sam, how do you feel about dealing, and tackling the crime issue, but also you're in the food business, dealing with rising costs, inflation, everything else that's on your plate? We've talked about labor shortages as well, getting people to come in and work. I mean, a lot of the business owners that I speak to, especially restaurant owners, just say some days you almost just feel like you want to give up.
Oh, definitely. It's definitely an uphill battle. I mean, I think that you try to look at the big picture and look forward to better times, and I guess that's what we're hoping for.
Yeah. And how do you manage some of those cost issues, paying more for labor for the people to be able to bring them in, paying more for your products, paying more for your packaging, if, crime is a deterrent and not allowing people to walk into the door, right, to keep the business and the sales up?
Yeah, ultimately it's a financial exercise, right? The cost that it takes to operate the the business divided by the number of breakfasts and cheeseburgers that you sell. Ultimately, it reflects the menu price.
Yeah.
That's where it comes down to.
Right. So you try to pass it on, but if people aren't walking in the door, it makes it difficult. Brandon, let me bring you in.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, you're dealing with so many difficulties here, from labor shortages to crime, so many problems facing small business owners. Are you looking forward to a massively expanded IRS and the potential for an audit of your business?
I guess I haven't thought about it much. I don't anticipate us having any trouble. I guess if somebody wants to come in and take a look, they're welcome.
Yeah.
That doesn't really concern me all that much. That's not I want my customers, my staff to feel safe in my establishment. And when coming into downtown, operating a business is difficult, but we get into operations because it's what we love and it's what we do. And if the IRS needs to come and check into stuff, then they're more than welcome.
Yeah, a lot of people are worried about it, Sam, but you're right. It becomes more of a hassle, really, than anything else. We were just showing some pictures of your restaurant, and as you said, everybody that loves what they do has kept on going, and I'm sure you will too. We wish you the best of luck, and we'll continue to follow up with you and your story.
Yeah, thanks so much for having us.
Sure.